Okay, so we're taking a look at the roof. Looks like all the sealant from last year is peeling off pretty bad, but we will reseal it. I'm trying to figure out if we're gonna have to maybe sand this down or how we're gonna do that, but we'll figure that out. Oh, hi. Welcome to the ceiling. We're just gonna scrape off all the existing sealant. We have our little plastic scrapers, steel brush right in front of Lily, right there. Basically, we're gonna try to scrape off a majority of like the loose stuff like this, where it's like flaking off. So scrape that off, and then underneath it, we'll use the steel brush to clean the steel roof. And then I think we're gonna have to wash pretty much everything after that. But once that's done, we have some sealant coming on the way and caulking. So we're gonna redo everywhere you see sealant on the roof, and then all the windows on the sides. And we'll take you through that process, and hopefully it's not too horrible. Hey,
Shut up. Hey, what did I say to you?
Who is this guy?
Excuse me, tiny sir. You are under arrest. Straight to jail.
Okay, so what we focused on over the last roughly hour and a half was the seam that runs all the way down this siding from both sides. So if you take a quick look at that, that was probably one of the easier parts. As you can see, we kind of poked around, took off some of the easy stuff, but a lot of the other stuff is going to be hard to access without a really tall ladder. We're using bar stools right now because we don't have a ladder. But we will get one. And then I don't know if we're gonna try to scrape everything down. Looking at it, a lot of this is like pretty intact, so I think it just needs a really good cleaning. So all the stuff that's falling off, like any flaking items, we're gonna take all that off, but then clean everything really good, and then we'll show you us sealing everything. We're gonna take off all of the caulking around the vents, the windows. Lily was working on that for a long time. And we'll show you that too. So hopefully it'll probably look like a completely different camper just from doing this. All right, about 10 hours worth of work so far. We've made a pretty awesome amount of progress just on the roof alone. And one of us has been going on all the windows during this time. Also, a gorgeous little sunset as the day closes.
All right, hello everybody. So lately we have been scraping all of the camper. We've scraped all of the outside joints by like the doors and the windows, and then around the frames and the sides there, that little metal trim piece. And then we scraped the whole roof as well. The best thing that we found to use was this metal putty knife, and we got one of the extra stiff ones, and it's been really good for like scraping the tar and the extra sealant off the roof, and getting into some of the little corners, but also since it's metal and it has sharp corners, it has been scratching the metal in some places. So it's a little sad. We do have plastic knives, but they aren't working as well, so let's give it its take. So we're planning on using ProPlex RV flexible sealant to go around the outside of the door and the windows and all the trim on the sides and the top to make sure that it's completely waterproof. And then we got Rust-Oleum Leak Seal crystal clear waterproof sealant that we were planning on rolling onto the roof. We chose these two. Definitely, we looked at a few options, and these were the most budget conscious with the best reviews. And so for us, we're really trying to stay in a budget. We're not trying to go crazy on this. We got 3 of these to hopefully go over the whole top, which is about 100 square feet. So we should have a little extra, but we're hoping to put it on pretty thick to keep all the water out. And then we got 5 tubes of these, and that was honestly just a guess. So we'll let you know if that was enough or not.
I wanted to just let you guys know, right before we started cleaning, I rubbed everything down with this steel brush, and it had this little attachment on the back side of it. Hey look, it's Lily. What? Had this little attachment on the back side of it, and that was actually really nice for getting off some extra parts. So I pretty much scraped down anything that was easy with the back side of it, and then scraped everything with the steel brush on this side, and that's going to help a lot with the cleaning process.
We are back today trying to clean the roof. So we got it all scraped off, and then we took a wire brush and wire brushed it as much as we could and sanded down little parts. So I think we've gotten as much of this old sealant off as we're going to be able to. And so now we're going through with water and degreaser soap kind of stuff, and just water after that to go through and scrub down the parts that are left and try and get as much of the dirt and old grime off of there as we can. And then we'll go over it with caulking, and then we'll go over the rest of that with sealant.
A quick tip for if you're ever using sealant like this, if it gets even like remotely slightly cold, it's much harder to apply. So keep it in your house overnight, and then whenever you're gonna actually work with it, that's when you should take it outside. Lucky for me, today's actually a warm day, but me and Lily tried to do it yesterday. It was pretty cold, and it was such a pain. Almost couldn't get anything done. So warm temperatures help. Okay, so we are up here currently sealing the roof. After I did all the caulking yesterday, me and Lily have just set up this little operation, and we're going to start working on everything. We just cleaned everything with some degreaser and some water. So that took like maybe an hour, and we have like 2 hours of sun left, maybe less than that, an hour and a half. So we got to be fast. So you ready? Okay, pieces of advice that we would give someone who's going to do something like this. Really consider whether you want to do this. Basically, I would say like do a pretty thorough evaluation of what your roof looks like now. If you have sealant that's pretty intact, there's just some spots that could use some patching, maybe just focus on that. Find a really good way to patch those up. I think you could use the same method we did where you scrape damaged areas out and then just repair them with sealant. That's probably more effective and way easier. The process just takes tons of time. It's really difficult to do. It's kind of inconvenient unless you have some kind of space where you can put your trailer and have maybe like scaffolding that goes over it. Because if you have like a really big trailer, just for us, it was already hard even with the ladder once we got it. So that whole process is just difficult. So either really prepare or maybe try to find a different solution. In terms of the products we use, I thought they were really good. I mean,
so far, I think that'll be definitely a test of time. But for now, they look great. They worked great. We got the clear, which since we didn't get everything off the top, it probably would have looked better if we would have gotten white or black, just so that it was like fully colored. Because right now you can just see everything that was under, so that's rough. But
yeah, consider getting a color, especially if you already have plans for the roof to be white or black. Then
yeah, just
use
buy
that.
it. Yeah.
We bought 3 of those Rust-Oleum clear sealant cans, and 3 of them basically let us to put on 3 layers.
Yeah, one coat filled basically the whole roof, and we were a bit sparing, but not terribly. And it did say to use thinner coats over thicker coats, and just more coats. So I think it worked out with the 3. We probably could have done 5 or 6, but that would have taken just more time and would have been more expensive. So.
And the weather conditions have to be right. When you're putting on this kind of sealant, it needs to be pretty warm for it to seal and dry correctly. So we were getting into the dangerous zone of it's getting a little too cold. Is it even going to seal right?
Big thing that we learned is that if we're going to paint it, it's got to be inside somewhere.
Yeah. All right. If you have any other questions, definitely let us know. We should be able to answer pretty much anything. And if you're doing something like this and you found this helpful, you should also let us know, because that's really cool. So thanks for watching.
What?